Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today is the weekly Star Wars recap for November 18th, 2024, which it's been several weeks since I did one, and there's a lot of stuff to get to. So I'm just going to dive in, starting with the new releases, everything what came out since the last episode. There was The High Republic Adventures Phase 3, Issue 11, The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising Issue 3, and Insurgency Rising Issue 4. Ahsoka Comic Adaptation Issue 5, and Ewoks Issue 2, which I didn't read any of those. There was also another Audible original, middle grade audiobook released, which is The High Republic Seeds of Starlight. So one, for the High Republic series, which it seems like there'll be another High Republic Audible original audiobook coming out sometime next year also, and I would assume just more of these, as there was the one released back in September following Obi-Wan and Anakin shortly after The Phantom Menace, so assume there'll be more. But the new releases coming out this week are The High Republic Adventures Phase 3 Issue 12 on November 20th, and The Battle of Jakku Republic Under Siege Issue 1 also on November 20th. But also coming out this week, I totally didn't forget about it in editing in here, Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard, the first DLC for the game, will come out November 21st, 2024. So there is that, and I'll eventually do a playthrough of it, as I still need to finish uploading a lot of my main game playthroughs, so yeah. But with that said, let's jump into the news. Which first, we finally got a release date for Andor Season 2, which will be April 22nd, 2025. So not super far away. I was kind of expecting it to release a little later in the year, but obviously I'm fine with it releasing in April. But alongside the release date announcement, there was also a new logo, which shows the series using a Star Wars story titling, which was used for the films Rogue One and Solo, and hasn't been used since. So that's kind of interesting. Don't know why they're bringing it back. Maybe to connect it more with the Rogue One. I don't know. But I'd assume on April 22nd they'll do probably a 2-episode premiere. Obviously Season 1 did a 3-episode premiere, but obviously the structure for Season 1 just all 12 episodes took place in a year, where Season 2, I think every 3 episodes will be a year in the life of Cassian, leading up to Rogue One. So I don't know if they'll actually do a 3-episode premiere. Honestly, I would like just a 1-episode premiere. I do like those, and for Andor Season 1, every episode felt fulfilling. I didn't need another episode, where obviously some of the other Star Wars or just Disney Plus series, sometimes one episode isn't as fulfilling to start the season off, but I would assume then they'll obviously release an episode every week, and then it'll run till probably late June, early July. So yeah, obviously April 22nd is a couple days after Star Wars Celebration 2025, which is April 18th to April 20th, which I'd assume they'll probably do a special screening for it at the convention. Obviously I won't be going, but there will probably be something there. So yeah, obviously after Andor Season 2, I don't know if there will be much Star Wars stuff for Disney Plus for some time, as nothing is filming right now, and the next thing which will film is Ahsoka Season 2, which will probably start filming sometime next year. And there's no word on any animated series or anything coming out soon. So, definitely interested to see where the Disney Plus stuff is going in the coming years. But there was some other Andor stuff, as there was a coming soon in 2025 Disney Plus / Hulu trailer, which had footage on several upcoming series, including Andor Season 2, which there wasn't a whole lot of stuff, but there was, some cool stuff. Obviously, we get several shots of Cassian as a rebel now. We get a shot of Bix on a, very farm-looking world. We get our first look at K2SO, who seems to be our Coruscant, maybe. There's shots of Imperials kind of doing something, which I'm thinking could be the Gorman massacre, as in season 1, Mon Mothma mentioned the Gormans a lot, and because in Star Wars Rebels season 3, she kind of leaves the Imperial Senate because of the Gorman massacre. So I would assume this is what that trailer is showing, because I'm just assuming we'll straight up see it. But there is some dialogue between Cassian and Luthen, where Luthen tells Cassian that he's thinking like a thief, which Cassian responds by saying he's thinking like a soldier, which then Luthen tells him to think like a leader. But that's all there was for that. But then there was also a cover story from Empire Magazine on Andor Season 2, which with that we got our first look at Director Krennic in the series, once again played by Ben Mendelsohn, which, obviously he looks the same as he did in Rogue One. Nothing really crazy there. But the article does mention what he'll be doing in Season 2, as it seems like he'll kind of clash with Denise Gaugh's character, Dejamiro, because I assume he probably won't have any run-ins with Cassian, but obviously I'm not sure he could, but I'd assume he'll be more of a villain for the villain type of character, which I am excited for. Just excited to see Krennic return. Definitely in this show with how great season 1 was. To see a great actor like Mendelsohn, in this type of show and whatnot. So, very excited for him to return. And just very excited for season 2, as I really, really loved season 1. But that's all there is for Andor news. There was also a new trailer for the next Disney Plus series, Skeleton Crew, which comes out in a couple weeks, which I'll probably do a breakdown of it. It already came out a couple weeks ago, but probably do it. There was also a new poster for Skeleton Crew, which shows all the characters and whatnot, and has a very kind of beaten up paper look to it. It's an okay poster. So yeah, but not really much to say there for Skeleton Crew. Like I said, I'll talk about more in a full-on breakdown for the trailer. Then we got several movie news-related stories, which honestly none of them are really good news. First, there was a report saying that the Rey-led New Jedi Order film has lost its writer once again, as Stephen Knight has left the film, and so now Lucasfilm was looking for a new writer for that film, which they might have already found another one, as another report came out that Simon Kinberg will write and produce a new trilogy of films, which might just be episodes 10 through 12, but the reporting is a little confusing, as this new trilogy could be separate from the Rey-led New Jedi Order film. Obviously, they'll, I assume, be like the same thing, so I assume they'll be combined. Obviously, there isn't any official announcements right now, so just have to wait and see for some of that stuff. But all we do know is that the December 2026 film has been removed from Disney's upcoming slate of films. So, one won't release December 2026. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one May 2027, because that would be the 50th anniversary of the original film. So maybe there is some hope there, but with Kinberg, I'm not really into the pick. He's probably most well known for his work on the X-Men films, which he produced several of, but he did write a few, which, he did write X-Men Days of Future Past, which is a good one. I quite enjoy that one. But he also wrote X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Apocalypse, the 2015 Fantastic Four. He also wrote and directed Dark Phoenix, which none of those are good. They're all trash. Obviously, he does not have a good batting average with X-Men films for the ones he actually wrote. And I honestly don't know about any other movie he's written. I honestly didn't really look too deep into other things he's written. Movie-wise, he did work on Star Wars before, as he was a co-creator of Star Wars Rebels and did write a few episodes there, but he was mostly just a executive producer on the series, which I really love, Star Wars Rebels, but honestly it's probably because of other people, not just Kim Berg. So, I'm not really into him writing a whole trilogy of films, but, we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully they can one day actually get a movie made, but it's not Mandalorian. So, yeah. But, anyways, let's move on to some comic news. As another new Marvel ongoing series was announced, titled Legacy of Vader, which will be written by Charles Soule, and will follow Kylo Ren in between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, which the series will have art from Luke Ross, and will show Kylo's reign as Supreme Leader of the First Order, and see him deal with the events of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi as he seeks guidance through the Legacy of Vader, which I guess the first story will begin with Kylo going to Mustafar and therefore Vader's castle. But according to the article on StarWars.com, in later issues, he will actually head to Tatooine, so that's interesting. But the first issue will release February 5th, 2025, which there is a description which says, Darth Vader's shadow extends into the rise of the First Order. The reign of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren begins. Kylo's dark obsession leads him to Mustafar. What secret does Fortress Vader hold for the young tyrant? And what face from the past will guide him on his quest? So yeah, definitely excited for this series. I love the comics Charles Soule has written and the other Star Wars stuff he's written, so very, very excited for it. And to see Kylo head to Mustafar and whatnot. Obviously, to do some speculation on that description, I'm assuming the face from the past is going to be Vinay, the old person who we see in Vader's castle, very briefly in Rogue One, but does appear in some other stories and whatnot, so I'm assuming it's going to be him. He's pretty old looking in Rogue One. I'd assume he should be dead by the time this story takes place, but who cares? There is some also art panels showing Kylo Ren, thinking back on events from the films, then crushing the burnt Vader helmet, and then heading to Mustafar. And obviously, like I said, very excited for it. Excited for another sequel era ongoing series. Excited to see how Soule kind of brings. Obviously, I assume he'll bring stuff from his Vader series and also the Rise of Kylo Ren miniseries he did into this series, and probably some of his other comics and whatnot. But also just excited to have Kylo lead a series and explore more of him. But finally, there is the January 2025 Star Wars comics, which will have the last few Battle of Jakku comics. So I'm just going to dive right into them, starting with the Battle of Jakku Last Stand Issue 2, written by Alex Segura, with art by Jethro Morales, which will come out January 8th, 2025, which the description says, a brazen assassination attempt leaves the heroes reeling. As a darker truth is uncovered, Luke, Leia, and Han are reunited, but under dire circumstances. What's left of the Empire must react to a new threat. On the eve of the Battle of Jakku, a traitor revealed, the heroes are faced with an ominous new threat careening toward them, with Jakku as the target. And then, Last Stand Issue 3, written by Segura with art by Leonard Kirk, which will come out January 15th, 2025, which the description says, the Battle of Jakku unleashed. Luke must enter the underworld to strike a deadly bargain. The Spice Runners of Kijimi play a deadly wildcard with shocking consequences. As unseen forces move to disrupt the Battle of Jakku, the New Republic must fight a war on two fronts. Luke takes on the new threat directly, putting everything at risk. And then, Last Stand Issue 4, written by Alex Segura, with art by Jethro Morales, which came out January 22nd, 2025, which the description says, "The Battle of Jakku rages on. The Battle of Jakku as never seen before. The New Republic must make a painful choice that puts Akbar's forces at risk. Luke Skywalker faces off against the deadliest menace to the Republic and the Empire. A historic character makes their first appearance ever." And then Ewoks Issue 4, written by Steve Orlando with art by Alvaro Lopez and Laura Braga, which come out January 29th, 2025, which the description says, "The Imperials make their final play. The Ewoks make a final stand against the Empire. The giant Gorox enters the fray. Can anyone survive its mighty rage?" And then there's A New Legacy one-shot, written by Jason Aaron, Kieran Gillen, and Charles Soule, with art by Leonard Kirk, Saul Aspen, and Raymond Rosanis, which will come out January 29th, 2025, which I already talked about this a few episodes ago, so I'm not going to dive into it again. And finally, there is Ahsoka Comic Adaptation Issue 7, written by Rodney Barnes, with art by Stephen Cummings, and will come out January 1st, 2025. But that's all the comics for January, and that'll be it for this episode. Hopefully I'll be back next week doing another weekly Star Wars recap, talking about something, but in the meantime, you just got all my other videos and whatnot, but I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Like what? What if we could go anywhere we want in the whole galaxy? A real adventure, no more pretend. I found something buried in the woods. What do you think it is?